Hello everyone and welcome to another random bits and pieces segment from my brain, and today, sit a while for we are playing some more Franchise Hockey Manager 6 as part of the Ottawa Senators. Alright, so the calendar flipped yet again and we are now in 2012, January of 2012. Looks like it's going to be a pretty busy month for us, at least with the games shown there. It looks like a decent split between home and away games, at least up until January 19. Although I can see there that we're going to go to San Jose, so there's probably a game in Anaheim and LA following that. Maybe not in that order, but that probably would make sense. So we are still atop of the Eastern Conference, but only a couple points ahead of Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh has a game on us, and we're going to face them in Pittsburgh in a few games here. On the injury front, we're doing a little bit better than we were at the start of the previous video. We only have Alex Pietrangelo left hurt. He's going to miss a few days. He's day-to-day, so I am expecting him to come back sometime this month. Hopefully sooner rather than later. So that's pretty much it. As usual, I checked the trading block. Nothing interesting there. The best player available is Roman Polak, and I will not trade for him, so I am going to stick to what I have. Alrighty, so I think we're pretty much good to start here. And then next month is going to be February, so again, that's the month where I offer contract extensions or not. So we'll see what I do with that at that point. Alright, so let's get this underway here. Board confidence update. Eugene Melnick is still very happy with my work. We went 10-3-1 in the last episode, which was December. Alright. And Alex Pietrangelo ready already? Yeah, that'd be great. That would be pretty good. Alright, so we start at home against the New Jersey Devils. It's pretty tough for the Devils. They are 11-23-3. That's good for 14th in the East, and we are 1-0 against New Jersey this season. Let's see if we can beat them again, this time on home ice. Alright, so Ray Emery is in net for New Jersey, and we are going to Antiniemi. And we won 5-2. So good start to the month, and I forgot to say my go Sens go, so lucky to get the win here. Superstitions oblige. Alright, so we outshot New Jersey 40-23 in this game. Petrus Bergeron was the first star of the game. He had a goal and 2 assists. Pavel Datsyuk was the second star with 3 assists, and Jason Spezza was the third star with a goal and an assist. 16,799 people in attendance for this game. Eric Carlson opened up the scoring in the first period. It was pretty early in the first two, from Jason Spezza and Petrus Bergeron, and then Patrick Eves from Chris Kelly and Drew Doughty gave us a 2-0 lead, but then New Jersey scored, made it 2-1 after 1. Then Eric Carlson scored in the second period as well, from Petrus Bergeron and Pavel Datsyuk, made it 3-1 after 2. Then in the third period, Petrus Bergeron scored from Pavel Datsyuk, made it 4-1. New Jersey scored, made it 4-2. And then Jason Spezza scored his 25th of the season in an empty net with 3 seconds left to go in the game from Pavel Datsyuk and Braden Shen. And it was 5-2, the final score. Alright, pretty decent game to start. Uh-oh, Carlson is hurt. He's day-to-day with a lacerated finger. Hopefully that doesn't look like the lacerated finger that Mark Methot got in real life when Crosby slashed him. That was pretty disgusting to see. Although not the most disgusting injury I've seen in sports. Of course, the Clint Malarchuk injury comes to mind. Way back when he was a goaltender and he got his jugular cut by a skate. That was pretty scary. Another sports injury that I always thought was pretty gruesome to watch was In baseball, Moise Alou playing for Montreal, playing for the Expos. He was running towards second base and like his leg jammed or something, and yeah, that was pretty gruesome as well. I'm sure there are plenty of other injuries that are a lot more gruesome, but I pretty much only watch hockey and baseball, so, and I can only attest to what I have personally seen. Alright, so, but anyway, so Carlson is out for a little bit here. Should I... Oh, and Ryan Whitney as well. Alright, so Ryan Whitney is out day-to-day. Carlson... Okay, he's day-to-day but might be able to play. I'm gonna keep him. Only because Whitney is also hurt and he cannot play, so Pitkanen can only come in for one. And then hopefully Pietrangelo comes back soon. Alright. This injury report was brought to you by, well, I don't have any sponsors, so fill in the blank. Alright. Okay, and Pietrangelo not far from returning. Right about now would be pretty good. We still have a couple of days before Tampa Bay's in town, so maybe he's gonna be back. Alright, Mike Weber is on waivers. Derek Dorsett is suspended in Dallas. He's going to miss 3 games. Alright, and Pietrangelo is back. Okay. So what do I want to do now? Well, I think I'm gonna send Ryan Whitney back down. He hasn't been extraordinary, and he's hurt anyway, so... So there you go. And welcome back, Alex Pietrangelo. Now, if Ryan Whitney wouldn't have been hurt, I might have handled that a little bit differently, but he's hurt and can't play anyway, so he's going back down. Suspension for Nicholas Wallin. He is now in San Jose. He's going to miss 3 games. Alrighty, so Tampa Bay is in town. So Tampa Bay also struggling. They are 13, 23, and 2. That's good for 13th in the East. We are 1-0 against Tampa Bay this season. Let's see if we can beat them again. So it was at home the first time we beat them, and we are at home again. So Alex Old is in net for Tampa Bay, and Antti Niemi is in net for Ottawa. And we won 5-1. Alright, we outshot Tampa Bay 48-23. Joe Thornton was the first star of the game. He had a goal and 2 assists. Drew Doughty was the second star with 2 assists. And Joni Pitkanen was the third star with 2 assists as well. So 17,178 people in attendance for that game. Chris Kelly opened up the scoring in the first. That was a power play goal from Joni Pitkanen and Patrice Bergeron. And it was 1-0 Sens after 1. Then Tampa Bay tied the game early in the second period, made it 1-1, but then Jason Spezza scored on the power play from Drew Doughty and Joe Thornton, and then Patrice Bergeron scored on the power play as well from Joni Pitkanen and Nikita Filatov, 3-1 Sens after 2. And then in the third period, Joe Thornton scored from Alex Pietrangelo and Drew Doughty, and finally Alexander Radulov scored on the power play from Joe Thornton, 5-1, and that was the final score. Looks like Tampa Bay took many more penalties than us. Actually, they took 6 and we took 2. Alright, Joe Pavelski extends his goal streak to 5 games. He had a goal against Columbus. Alright, and now we're going to go and play at home and home against the Flyers. So it starts in Philadelphia and then the very next day at home against the same Flyers, obviously. A night to remember for Andrew Ladd in Carolina. He had 3 goals and 2 assists against Buffalo. A very rare win for the Hurricanes. Jaromir Jagr is back from suspension. Too bad he was not going to be suspended for the game we're going to play against them. Alright. Right, so in Philadelphia, Philadelphia also has a pretty good record. They are 26-9-3. That's really good, but that's only good for 5th in the East. Pittsburgh is even a little bit better than them. We are 1-0 against Philadelphia this season. We beat them at home 2-1 earlier in the year. Right, Antiniemi in net for us. Sergei Bobrovsky in net for Philadelphia. Bobrovsky's having a pretty good season. 5 shutouts, 935 save percentage. That's pretty good. And we lost 4-2. The Flyers beat us. We outshot the Flyers 31-19. Claude Giroux was the first star. He had 3 assists. Patrick Eaves was the second star with a goal and an assist. And Jeff Carter was the third star with 2 assists. So Patrick Eaves opened up the scoring in the first period from Brooks Laich and Joe Thornton. And it was 1-0 Sens. After one, there was a fight between Colin Fraser and Zdeno Chara. Probably won by Chara, I would say. Then in the second period, Joni Pitkänen made it 2-0 Sens from Chris Kelly and Patrick Eaves. But then Philadelphia scored 1 goal, reduced our lead to 2-1 after 2. And then they scored 3 unanswered goals, including 2 goals in 31 seconds near the start of the third period. And we lost 4-2. Yeah, we dropped that one in Philly. Hopefully we rebound back home. Good night for Phil Kessel in Boston. He had a hat-trick, 3 goals against Vancouver. Excellent passing leads to productive night for David Krejci. In that same game, he got 4 assists. Good night for Taylor Hall with Edmonton. He had a hat-trick against Dallas. Now Taylor Hall in real life still hasn't signed with anybody as of today, October 11th, or at least at this time. Maybe he's signing a contract right now. What do I know? Boyd Gordon lights the lamp in Washington. He had a hat-trick as well against San Jose. Lots of hat-tricks today. And Alexander Steen lights the lamp as well with a hat-trick as well against Detroit. Alright, and Alexei Kegorodov is available on waivers. Alright, so we are home against the same Flyers, so they are still 5th. We are now obviously 1-1 against them this season. Alright, so we're probably going to see Brian Elliott in that one, I would think. Yep, Brian Elliott for us, Alexander Salak in net for the Flyers. Oh, we won that one 6-1. There you go. So we outshot the Flyers 36-29. Joe Thornton was the first star. He had 3 assists. Jason Spezza was the second star with 2 goals. And Roman Josi was the third star with a goal and an assist. 17,184 people in attendance for this game. Jeff Carter actually scored the first goal of the game. It was 1-0 Flyers until Joni Pitkänen scored from Patrick Eaves and Joe Thornton, made it 1-1 after 1. Then in the second period, the Sens scored 3 unanswered goals. So Jason Spezza scored on the power play from Joe Thornton and Alexander Radulov. Then Petrus Bergeron scored his 10th from Alex Pietrangelo. And then Sam Gagner from Drew Doughty and Alex Pietrangelo. It was 4-1 Sens after 2. Then Roman Josi scored in the third period from Joe Thornton and Andre Meszaros. And then Jason Spezza from Roman Josi and Petrus Bergeron. 6-1 the final score. There was also a fight in the third period between Zdeno Chara again. This time he fought Darryl Powell. So again, pretty sure Chara won that one. Alright, and we are now in Pittsburgh, so quick 3-game road trip. We're not going too far. So it starts in Pittsburgh against the Pens. They are 30-10, and they are second in the East, 6 points behind us, but they have 3 games on hand. We are 1-1 against Pittsburgh this season, so let's see if we can beat them on their own on their eyes. Sorry. Alright, so Niemi is back in net for us. Marc-Andre Fleury in net for Pittsburgh. Oh, we won 3-1. That's pretty good against a pretty good team. We were outshot 27-22. Jason Spezza was the first star of the game. He had 2 assists. David Desharnais was a second star with a goal, and Drew Doughty was a third star with an assist. Petrus Bergeron scored the first goal of the game from Drew Doughty and Jason Spezza. It was 1-0 Sens after 1. Then nobody scored in the second period, and then in the third period, Joe Thornton doubled our lead from Chris Kelly, and then Alex Pietrangelo from Jason Spezza. And about at the midway point of the third period, Pittsburgh scored, keeping Antiniemi from getting a shutout. And there was another fight for Zdeno Chara. That's 3 games in a row that Zdeno Chara got into a fight, this time against, Jaromir Jagr. Oh, wow. So Jagr fought, which is kind of weird in itself, and he fought Chara. So that's 2 big guys. Jaromir Jagr is not a small man. That's kind of interesting. Jagr dropping the gloves. Derek Dorsett back from suspension in Dallas. He is back in the lineup. And Nicholas Wallin back from suspension as well. However, he does play for the Sharks. Oh, looks like I got Zach Smith that's hurt over here. He's day-to-day, so we're going to keep him there. Alright, and we are moving into New York to play against the Rangers. So it's kind of tough for the Rangers this season. They are 14, 22, and 4. That's good for 11th in the East. We are 2-0 against the Rangers so far this season. And we have Antiniemi in net. They're going to go with Al Montoya. And we won 3-2 in overtime. Alright, so we outshot the Rangers 39-19. Jason Spezza was the first star of the game. He had a goal. Al Montoya was the second star with 37 saves. And Teddy Purcell was the third star with a goal. Jason Spezza scored first from Zdeno Chara and Petrus Bergeron. And then the Rangers tied the game. It was tied at 1 after 1. And then Drew Doughty scored in the second period from Chris Kelly and Pavel Datsyuk. And then the Rangers yet again tied the game, made it 2-2. Nobody scored in the third period or in overtime, so that went into a shootout. And Carl Hagelin scored for the Rangers. And then we had Pavel Datsyuk score and tie it. And then a bunch of people missed all the way until Petrus Bergeron scored. And we got the shootout victory. And another injury. I'm starting to have a lot of injuries, even though they're not all long. Foot contusion, 1 to 2 weeks. I'll put him on the injured reserve. And I'm going to recall somebody. Alright, who do we get? Alright. Sorry, I know I'm quiet when I do that. I check a couple of different things. Alright, I think I'm gonna go with Cotton Greening again. Not exactly the same type of player as Radulov, but he's a big body, so. And I'm trying to trade him, so maybe I'm showcasing him a little bit. If he can do good, maybe somebody's gonna offer me the moon for him. Who knows? Alright, no further action needed for TJ Oshie in Philadelphia. no suspension for him. Brad Richards extends his goal streak to 5 games. He got a goal and an assist against Carolina. Right, and Zach Smith might be back in the lineup soon. Right, and we are now concluding our our road trip against Montreal in Montreal. Derek Roy in Buffalo is suspended. He's going to miss 6 games. Brad Richards extends his goal streak to 6 games. He had a goal against Washington. Alright. Erik Karlsson's feeling better. And we have a trade proposal from the Phoenix Coyotes, who are offering us Danny Ehrman for Justin Abdelkader. I am going to say no to that. Alright, we are in Montreal to face the Habs. They are 31-11-1. That's good for 4th in the East. We're not doing too good against Montreal this season. We are 0-2, so I hope we're going to go ahead and fix that here. We're going to go with Antiniemi. They are going with Yaroslav Halak. And we lost again 2-0. So the last 2 games we played against Montreal, we got shut out 2-0. I don't like it one bit. We outshot Montreal 30-27. Yaroslav Halak was the first star of the game. He had 30 saves. Alex Pietrangelo was the second star without any points, obviously. And Stephen Weiss was the third star with a goal and an assist. There was a fight between Thomas Plekanec, of all people, wow, and Eric Condra. Thomas Plekanec getting in a fight? I don't think so. Other than that, not much to say. We didn't score, so yeah. Claude Giroux set everything up tonight. He had a goal and 5 assists against Nashville. Wow. No further discipline for St. Louis Sergei Zinoviev, so not suspended. Oh, Don Sweeney is done with the Rangers. So he was the coach. So Don Sweeney was the coach of the Rangers. They are done. They're 14-23-5. He's gone. Peter Laviolette is now going to be the coach with the Rangers. And Bobby Francis might lose his job as the head coach of the Winnipeg Jets. They are 15-23-6. Alright, so there's that. Erik Karlsson is completely recovered. Zach Smith is feeling better, but not quite there yet. Speaking of the Jets, oh wow, okay, so we're playing the Jets at home, and then we're going to be on the road for the rest of the month for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games. Woo. Oh, Marianosa played in his 1000th game as a member of the Chicago Blackhawks. Didn't get a point. That was against the Sharks, and he's 33, still a 3-star player. And he does have a decent, 36 points in 46 games, so he's still got some in him. Alright, and Zach Smith is feeling definitely better, not injured anymore. Alright, and we are hosting the Jets now, so we just saw they are kind of struggling, so they are 15-23-6. And we are 1-1 against Winnipeg this season. Now, Winnipeg, I explained that in this particular season, they're in the Eastern Conference, so they are 9th right now in the East. Alright, so Kari Lehtonen is going to be in net for the Jets. We are going to go with Antiniemi. We won 2-1 in overtime, so I had to work for that one. We outshot the Jets 34-16. Joe Thornton was the first star of the game. He had a goal and an assist. Ilya Kovalchuk was the second star with a goal, and Pavel Datsyuk was the third star with an assist. We had 18,013 people in attendance for this game. Alright, so nobody scored in the first, couple penalties for Winnipeg. Nobody scored in the second, bunch of penalties on each side. And then late in the third period, Joe Thornton scored his 15th of the season on the power play from Braden Shan. It looked like we were going to win that 1-0, but with 30 seconds left to go in the game, Kovalchuk tied the game to bring us to overtime. And in overtime, Zdeno Sharp played the hero with his 5th of the season from Pavel Datsyuk and Joe Thornton, and 2-1 was the final score. And with that said, Jerome McGinley played in his 1,250th game in his career. Didn't get a point. That was against St. Louis. 34 years old, Jerome McGinley, still a 2.5-star player, never left Dallas in my universe. He's still there. I did get a trade offer for Jerome McGinley, but I decided to go with another offer instead. I could have had Jerome McGinley on my team. Alright, and now we are going to get ready to play that super long road trip that I mentioned. So all of the games that we're going to do up until the end of the video are going to be on the road, and it starts in Toronto before we head west for our American western trip there. Alright, so the Leafs are 28-15-1. That's good for 6th in the East, and we are 2-1 against the Leafs this season. Alright, so Brian Elliott is going to be in net for us, and he's going to face James Reimer. Alright, the road trip starts pretty good with a 5-2 win in Toronto. We outshot Toronto 50-20. Eric Condra was the first star of the game. He had a goal and an assist. Joe Thornton was the second star with 2 assists, and Alex Pietrangelo was the third star with an assist. Alright, so Braden Shan opened up the scoring in the first. That was his 5th on the power play from Yoni Pitkanen and Joe Thornton. Then Roman Yossi from Chris Kelly and Patrick Eaves. It was 2-0 at that point. Then Toronto scored to make it 2-1, and then Jason Spezza scored his 30th on the power play from Joe Thornton. And finally, Petrus Bergeron scored short-handed from Alex Pietrangelo, and Eric Condra made it 4-1 Sens after 1. And also, that didn't help. Toronto took a whole bunch of penalties in the first period. Then Toronto scored in the second period to make it 4-2 Sens. But in the third period, Eric Condra scored from Eric Carlson, and Petrus Bergeron made it 5-2 Senators, and that was the final score in that one. That was a pretty physical game. Well, not that many hits, but maybe dirty then? Bunch of penalties. Oh, Patrick Eaves is hurt. Cervical hyperextension. He's gonna... 5 days. Okay, alright. I guess that's not that bad. Minor whiplash. Okay. Alright, so we're heading west now, and that starts in San Jose against the Sharks. Marcus Neslund has reached 1,250 games played, and he celebrated that with a goal against the New Jersey Devils. So Marcus Neslund is 38, and he's still a star-and-a-half player. Maxim Afinogenov in Washington is suspended. He's going to miss 3 games. And in that same game, Nicholas Backstrom extended his point streak to 12 games with a goal and an assist against the Islanders. Well, lot of games played milestones in this month. So now Alex Tanguay played in 1,000 games. No points for him. That was against Florida. 32 years old, Alex Tanguay, still a 2-star player. Nicholas Backstrom extends his point streak to 13 games with 2 assists against Montreal. And that was 8 straight games with an assist for him. Alrighty, so in San Jose, the Sharks are 20-21-2. And we have not played the Sharks so far this year, so let's take a look at their lineup. Oh, they have a few injuries here. So Brad Stewart is hurt, Dmitry Kulikov is hurt, and Logan Couture is hurt. So all of those guys are not playing this game. Alright, so in net it's Mika Kiprusov and Rob Zepp, Josh Gorges, Stefan Kronwall, Nicholas Wallin, Mikko Lehtonen, Matt Carl, Corey Potter, Scott Annan, and Mike Weber. Oh, they picked up Mike Weber when he was put on waivers earlier, apparently. So that's the D. Yeah, it's a little weak. On the up front, Ryan Craig, Marcel Gotch, Jamie McGinn, Tuomo Rutu, Victor Stahlberg, Tyler Ennis, Pat Dwyer, Eric Fair, Tomasz Plial, I think. Yes. Subchenko, Letestu, Milan Mikalik, and Joe Pavelski. Of course, having Logan Couture hurt doesn't help them. And of course, not having Patrick Marleau or Joe Thornton, because I had my say for both of those, also hurts them. So yeah, they don't have a super great team. Alright, so we have Antiniemi in net. They have Mika Kiprusov. And we won that 4-1. We outshot the Sharks 48-16. Pavel Datsyuk was the first star of the game. He had a goal and 2 assists. Joe Thornton was the second star with 2 goals and an assist. And Zdeno Chara was the third star with 2 assists. Nobody scored in the first period. Then in the second, we had Joe Thornton score on the power play from Chris Kelly and Joni Pitkinen. Then the Sharks tied the game, but then Pavel Datsyuk scored from Zdeno Chara and Joe Thornton, and it was 2-1 Sens after 2. And the Sharks took a bunch of penalties in the second period as well. And then in the third period, Joe Thornton scored from Pavel Datsyuk and Eric Kondra. And then Alex Pietrangelo scored short-handed from Pavel Datsyuk and Zdeno Chara. 4-1 the final score. Yeah, the Sharks took a few misconducts and whatnot. Alright, and we are now going to be playing in Anaheim against the Ducks. Nicholas Backstrom extends his point streak to 14 games. He had an assist against Carolina, and that's 9 straight games with an assist for him. Nathan Horton is suspended in Florida. He's going to miss 8 games. That's a lot. Jochen Hecht has recorded 1,000 games played as well, so another game milestone this month. 1,000 games played. That was against Montreal. Didn't get a point. And 34 years old, Jochen Hecht. He is a 1-star player. Alright, so we are playing in Anaheim. They are 21-21-3, so they are playing for 500. We have not played them this season, so we're going to take a look here. No injuries in Anaheim, so we are facing their best possible lineup. So in net, it's Jonas Enroth and Ilya Brizgalov. That's okay. That's competent enough. Matt Irwin. Oh god, what's his name? Danny Syrat? Danny Syrat, yeah. Okay. Schultz, Greg Zanen, Kampfer, Popovich, Gardiner, and Willie Mitchell. On D, the D's not very good. I mean, yeah, they have Jake Gardiner, but he hasn't developed yet. He's only 21. Up front, it's Chris Kunitz, Drew Miller, Matt Pettinger, Bobby Ryan, Adam Henrique, Ryan Getzlaff, Jake Dowell, Andy McDonald, Paul Carrier, Geoffrey Lupul, Sexton Parento, and Corey Perry. So they have a pretty good set of forwards. So the goaltending's okay, forwards pretty good, the D's pretty weak. So as a result, they play for 500. Alright, so we have Antiniemi in net, they have Jonas and Roth, and we lost 4-3. There you go, that'll teach me for saying they have a weak D. We outshot Anaheim 35-29. Ryan Getzlaff was the first star of the game. He had a hat-trick, 3 goals. Nikita Filatov was the second star with a goal and an assist, and Corey Perry was the third star with 2 assists. So Anaheim scored twice in the first period to take a 2-0 lead. And then there was a fight as well between Corey Perry and Zdeno Chara. So again, 2 big guys getting at it. Right, and then in the second period, Zdeno Chara scored from Yoni Pitkanen and Nikita Filatov. Then Filatov scored from Brooks Laich and Eric Carson. And then David Legwan from Brooks Laich made it 3-2 Sens at that point. But then Ryan Getzlaff completed his hat-trick, made it 3-3 after 2. And in the third period, Bobby Ryan, of all people, scored the game winner with a couple minutes left in the game, and we lost that 4-3. Alright, so Jason Spezza is ailing with corneal abrasion. He's going to miss 12 days. That's no bueno. Alright. And they say here 3 weeks. Is it 12 days or 3 weeks? That's different. Uh-oh. Drew Doughty also got hurt. That's not good. Okay, I have to take care of a couple things here. So Patrick Eves was already... Okay, Doughty, you're staying there. You can't play through that. Now, Spezza, 2 to 3 weeks. Okay, so you need to go on injured reserve. We're starting to have a few injuries here. Yeah, I think I'm going to recall Kaspar's Dagovans. I was hesitating between him and Colin Greening earlier, so I think that's who comes up. Alright, well, I'm losing some pretty good players here, and I might struggle a little bit more. Although a couple of them are coming back soon. Or at least we hope so. Well, at least I hope so. Ilya Kovalchuk has a strong game. He had a hat-trick against the Florida Panthers. Alright, and Patrick Eves should... Yeah, he's back, so at least we get him back, so that's good. Alright, and our western trip is now going to take us to LA against the Kings. Good game for Jeff Carter in Philly. He had 4 assists against the Bruins. Nicholas Backstrom's point streak ended at 14 games. He did not record a point against Pittsburgh, so his assist streak ended at 9 games as well. And Maxim Afinogenov is back in the lineup in Washington. And we are now going to play the Kings. Now the Kings are having a decent season. They are 28-18-3. We have not played them. No injuries in LA, so that's pretty much our best lineup. Yeah, it looks pretty good. So in net, it's Jonathan Quick and Jonathan Bernier, so that's pretty good there. On D, it's Brendan Bell, Paul Martin, Lubomir Vishnevsky, Kimmo Timonen, Doug Janik, and Sami Sato. That D is kind of old. So it's not the best, and there's definitely a few veterans there. Kyle Clifford, Camilleri, King, Schultz, Wick, Boyle, Anil Kopitar, Louis Casper, Will C. Brown, Belanger, Nick Foligno, and Wayne Simmons. Yeah, that's a decent team overall. The D is maybe not as strong, but overall it's not a bad team. Alright, we're going to send Brian Elliott in for that one. He's going to face Jonathan Quick. And we won 3-2 despite all of those injuries. And we outshot the Kings 48-12. Joe Thornton was the first star of the game. He had 2 assists. Dustin Brown was the second star with a goal. And Pavel Datsyuk was the third star with 2 goals. So Datsyuk was the only one to score in the first period from Eric Carlson and Joe Thornton. And it was 1-0 Sens after 1. Then in the second period, Datsyuk scored again. That was his 15th of the season from Joe Thornton and Patrick Eves. And then the Kings scored, made it 2-1 Sens after 2. Then in the third period, the Kings tied the game at 2, but with a minute 52 left to go in the game, Eric Condra scored his 10th from Patrice Bergeron. And we ended up winning this game 3-2. Very few penalties in that game as well. Drew Doughty got hurt some more. Well, we already know that he's day-to-day, so, I mean, he can take it. There you go. Alright, and now we are going to be playing in Phoenix. And Alexander Radulov might be back soon. Alright, so it's the very next night. We are in Phoenix to play against the Coyotes. Oh wow, so we had like a 6-game on the road and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games at home. That's a weird schedule. Like it's like many games in a row on the road, many games in a row at home. Usually it's kind of sprinkled, except for maybe one stretch in the season. Anyway, alright, we haven't played Phoenix, so... Oh, we're not going to face Oliver Ekman Larson. He's hurt, and Henrik Tellender is also not going to be playing that game. And neither is Denny Briere. He is also hurt and unable to play. So in net Phoenix, I have Martin Biron and Scott Darling. That's not very good. Martin Biron is really old. Well, he's 34. That's still younger than me, but in hockey terms, he's getting up there in age, and he's only a half a star. Now on D, Shane Morrison, Chris Summers, Ross Semyonov, Gormley, Michael Stone. That D is not good. Then up front, Shane Doan, Porter, Wheeler, Muller, Briere, Koivu, Nokelainen, Kyle Turris, Klippish, Brown, Bodker, Dupuis, Winnick, McLean, and Samuelson. The offense is okay. The rest of the team is really not all that good. And I don't know if I said their record. I don't think I did. They are 19-25-5. Yeah, their team is not very good. So Antti Niemi is going to be in net for us. Martin Biron in net for Phoenix. And we lost 5-3. I need to stop saying teams are not good. I tend to lose those games. It's kind of funny how things go sometimes. So I did outshoot Phoenix 37-30. Pascal Dupuis was the first star of the game with a goal and an assist. Braden Shen was the second star with 3 assists. And Mikhail Bodker was the third star, with a goal and an assist. So Phoenix scored twice in the first period to take a 2-0 lead into this game. And then they even took a 3-0 lead into the second period. And then Patrice Bergeron scored on the power play from Joe Thornton and Braden Shen. And then Joe Thornton on the power play from Patrice Bergeron and Braden Shen as well. And it was 3-2 at that point. But Phoenix scored 2 more goals, made it 5-2. And at the start of the third period, Patrice Bergeron gave us some hope from Braden Shen and Joe Thornton. Made it 5-3, but we could never tie the game, and we lost this game 5-3. Alright, Patrice Bergeron got his 600th point in his career with 2 goals and an assist in that game. 26 years old, Patrice Bergeron, 4-star player. Alright, and now we have a week off before we play in Boston. There's probably the All-Star game in there and probably our mandatory break for the players. Alright, good game for Patrick Kane. He had 4 goals and an assist against Nashville. Yeah, I would say that's a pretty good game. Great night for Jonathan Toews in that same game. He got 4 assists, pretty good. Carlo Kolayakovo is back from suspension with the Panthers. Wow, he was suspended for a long time because I don't remember seeing that in this video. Suspension over for Derek Roy, back in the lineup for Buffalo. And Alexander Radulov is almost back from injury. Alright, Drew Doughty's feeling better. That's very, very good. Yeah, it was the All-Star break. So that happened. Alexander Radulov is ready to come back. Alright, so how many people did we had 5 people go to the All-Star game. So Eric Carlson and Joe Thornton played together on Sidney Crosby's team, and then on John Tavares' team, Zdeno Chara, Petrus Bergeron, and Pavel Datsyuk played together. So my goaltenders did not go to the All-Star game. Then the Team Red wins the All-Star competition. Alright, so Radulov can come back. I'm gonna send Doug Evans back down. Alright, so the All-Star game happened. Team Red defeat Team Blue 8-4, so my players didn't do much. Joe Thornton got an assist, and Petrus Bergeron also got an assist, and that's it. My other players didn't do anything. A great night for Ilya Kovalchuk, who had 3 goals and an assist in that All-Star game. And Ryan Getzlaf had 4 assists. Jan Budish has been put on waivers. Yeah, that's a big salary for an Alpha Star player. And Jason Spezza might be coming back soon. Alright, and we are going to be playing in Boston against the Bruins. So the Bruins are okay. They are 27-20. And that is good for 8th in the East. We are 0-1-1 against the Bruins this season. We have not beaten them yet. So we're in Boston. We have Brian Elliott in net. They have Ryan Miller. Hopefully we can beat them this time. And we did. We won 3-1 to finish the month. Shots were tied, 29 apiece. Pavel Datsyuk was the first star of the game. He had 2 goals. Steve Ott was the second star with an assist. And Eric Condra was the third star with an assist as well. Pavel Datsyuk opened up the scoring in the first period from Drew Doughty. Then Patrick Eves from Brooks Laich and Joe Thornton. And it was 2-0 Sens after 1. Then nobody scored in the second. In the third period, Boston scored, made it 2-1, but then Pavel Datsyuk scored in an empty net from Eric Condra, made it 3-1, and that sealed the deal in this game. The Sharks might change coaches. So Bruce Boudreau is the coach in San Jose, and San Jose is 20-26-2, so not doing too good over there. They might change the coach. Mikael Grabner is suspended in Vancouver. He's going to miss 3 games. Alright, so the players of the month were Thomas Plekanec and Mike Smith. Alright. No Sens player again. Alrighty, so let's look at the standings. We are still atop of the Eastern Conference, still 6 points ahead of Pittsburgh, but they still have 3 games on us. So if they win them all, they might end up tying us, or maybe even leapfrogging us. So yeah, we might not finish first here. Right, and in the West we have Chicago first. Oh wow, look at that record for Chicago. That looks like the records I used to get. 41-6-4. And then Minnesota, LA, Columbus, Nashville, Edmonton, Anaheim, and St. Louis. Yeah, looks like Chicago's heading straight for the finals. Alright, now let's take a quick look at our own stats. Right, so of course we have Jason Spezza, that's Earth, so we're not seeing his stats here. Joe Thornton has 62 points in 53 games, and then Bergeron 41 in 53, Datsuk 40 in 52, Carlson 39 in 51. Carlson had a pretty quiet month. I didn't see his name all that much. 30 and 50 for Dottie, and then it just goes down from there. And in the league, Patrick Kane and Phil Kessel are the best goal scorers with 31 goals each. Jason Spezza's tied at 4th with 30. Crosby's the best passer with 48 assists, and the best scorer for total points is Patrick Kane with 74. Thornton is 6th with 62, and Jason Spezza, who's been hurt for a little bit, he has 58 points. And he is 8th. Yeah, look at that. All of those Blackhawks players there. That's pretty crazy. They do have a pretty good team. Let's take a look. Oh yeah. Yeah, their roster looks like ours. Of course, they got some of those players, for free, basically, because they, because of the way that I play, they get their own draft picks that they got in real life, so they didn't have to fight to get Patrick Kane or Jonathan Taves or, Duncan Keith or Corey Crawford, Alright, I'm going to go ahead and save the game. I think that wraps it up for today in January of 2012. So next month, well, the video won't be next month, but next month in the game we're going to offer some contract extensions to players we want to keep, and we're going to go ahead and try to solidify our position atop of the Eastern Conference there. Hopefully we can do that. Alrighty, so, well, I do want to thank you for tuning in as usual, and if you've liked the video, please feel free to like, subscribe, share, comment, all of that good stuff. And until I roll this game again, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.